To an ABC News exclusive now with a Massachusetts couple who claim they were subjected to a vicious campaign of harassment by former eBay executives.
We're all in very serious trouble.
Prosecutors have also criminally charged 6 eBay employees and a contractor with cyber stalking. 5 have pleaded guilty, 2 maintain their innocence and await trial.
You got me.
7 former employees have pleaded guilty in the case. Their sentences range from 2 years probation to almost 5 years in prison.
But wait, there's more.
Evening, all told, 7 former executives at eBay have pled guilty in this case. 3 have been sentenced to prison so far, including the 2 here today. But the couple wants more people charged further up the corporate ladder. David and Nina Steiner got handshakes from supporters after attending the sentencing hearings for 2 more former eBay executives who, as they told the judge, had made their lives, quote, a living hell.
It was corporate terrorism. We were terrified.
Do you accept any responsibility for what you did? David Harville and Jim Baugh did not comment to us, but in court they told the Steiners they are sorry for their roles in harassing and frightening the couple.
Any one of you who, in the media, in the press, this could have happened to you.
The Steiners operate a blog that's often critical of eBay. 3 years ago, company executives set out to, quote, take them down by anonymously sending the Steiners items such as a bloody pig mask, live spiders, and a funeral wreath, and by stalking them at their home in Natick. Baugh, the former head of security at eBay, who prosecutors say masterminded the plan, was sentenced to 4 years, 9 months in prison. Harville, who spied on the couple and tried to break into their garage to install a GPS tracker on their car, got 2 years behind bars.
We think it goes much further, and we think the evidence will be there to suggest that it is a conspiracy that comes from the top down.
The Steiners have also filed a civil lawsuit against the convicted executives, but also against eBay itself and its former CEO, because they say their lives have forever been changed.
The fear never goes away.
Now, that former CEO, Devin Wenig, he left the company 3 months after the cyber stalking campaign began, but he's not charged. He's denied all wrongdoing in this case. His lawyers say his takedown comment about the Steiners was never intended to lead to anything like what happened.
Well, that's the story as of now. I don't think the story's over yet. We covered it a few months ago. Some of you may have seen, remember that video we did on eBay and terrorism at the company. And now it just seems to be sort of crystallizing what really was going on. And I think there's a lot more to come. The Steiners have I think a very potentially successful lawsuit filed against the company. And I'm not sure that the prosecutors are done yet. As of today, Mr. Baugh, who was the James Baugh, who was in the video, who was the head of security for eBay, was a direct reporter to Devin Wenig, who was the chairman of the company, and he was sentenced. He got four almost 5 years in prison. David Harville was also sentenced. So that means that 7 people so far have been found guilty. Who was not charged but was fired, interestingly, is a guy named Stephen Weimer, and he was at the epicenter of it, it seems, according to the things you see in the news. He was, interestingly, before he went to work for eBay, no surprise, he was also a Democrat Party senatorial communications director. But he was the one who famously said, "I want to see her in ashes," or "I want to see ashes," when Baugh and the gang got done with the Steiner family. He was eventually exposed as who he was. Mr. Weimer also texted a link to Mr. Wenig at one point saying, "We are going to crush this lady." And when Steiner wrote a second article critical of the company, CEO Wenig sent a text to Weimer saying, "If you're going to take her down, now is the time." Well, of course, it all begs the question: what does he mean? What does he expect them to do? Take her down? What did Mr. Wenig actually think they would do that was legal? If he's claiming he had no knowledge of what they were doing and so on, why would he tell them to take him down? What was the point? Take her down how? There's only one way you can take somebody down, and this is what they did. And to believe that Mr. Wenig knew nothing of it is a real reach, because this went on for months. And when the story broke, of course, in August of the year of 2019, Mr. Wenig quit and left the company within a month, within 3 weeks of it. He has since gone on. He got a $57 million golden parachute. He's been put onto the board of Salesforce, of all things, another very weird company, and has also kept his seat on the board of directors of General Motors. And this is the guy that wanted, from what I'm reading, knew what was going on, and he wanted these people's lives to be destroyed, and he hasn't been charged with anything. It's absolutely crazy. Mr. Weimer has gone on to be the head of the Girls and Boys Club of Silicon Valley. How appropriate is that? And Mr. Baugh, when he said that he was getting ready to escalate the attacks on the Steiner family, Weimer said back in a reply, "Amen, I want her done," Mr. Weimer wrote. "She's biased troll and needs to get burned down. I want to see ashes." This kind of talk just doesn't make any sense to me at all. If you're an innocent person, you don't go around threatening and intimidating people. What it amounts to is that these folks are a bunch of gangsters. And eBay, it was headed by a corrupt individual. His top management was obviously corrupted by all this. Mr. Weimer was, Mr. Baugh was, Mr. Winnig. He has plausible deniability, I suppose, but we'll see where the lawsuits go, because I got a feeling that they're going to get absolutely crushed in these lawsuits, and I hope eBay ends up shelling out a couple of $100 million for this. What they did was absolutely inexcusable. It came from the CEO's office directly, and he knows that. But Mr. Winnig is also an attorney. It's important to remember that. He's a Columbia Law School attorney, and they know how to compose messages just to this side of the legal, to keep it legal so they can't be indicted. But I think there's a lot more to come on this. I hope David and Ina absolutely annihilate these guys in court. Mr. Winnig personally in a lawsuit, all the people involved personally in lawsuits, and I hope eBay is forced to pay, because eBay's culture stimulated this very behavior. And it's pretty obvious if you read the transcripts of what was written between these people at the very, very, very top of the company. These are the top 5 or 6 people in the company were communicating like this. It goes a long way to explaining the eBay culture today and why eBay is basically a failing company financially. They're just sort of burning up all their money. They have had no growth now for 6-7 years, and they keep putting lipstick on the pig. But by hiring people like Mr. Winnig and like Mr. Baugh and like Mr. Havel, all these people, is it no wonder that the company's in trouble? And is it no wonder they're probably going to end up writing enormous checks to the Steiner family for what they did? What they did was criminal, and that's all there is to it. Okay, so that's all I have to say on it. When there's an update on this, I will be back. I will talk about it. I'm very anxious to hear about when the lawsuits are going to be tried, if they ever get tried, or is eBay going to take the back door and pull them in and just write them an enormous check to end it, which would be the wise thing to do. But eBay is not known for being particularly wise, so we'll see what happens. All right. I'll be back later this week with another video, and have a great rest of your week, everyone. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and see you all next time. Bye-bye.